Hey everyone, today I'm making a video about another porno, oh my god, another paranormal story time video. I apologize for my voice, I'm getting over a cold, so I sound like a pubescent teenage boy. Anyways, bear with me. I mean, I could wait for another time to make the video, but my friends really wanted me to make this video, so here I go. So, I don't know if everyone has watched my first spooky storytime video, but I mentioned that I grew up here on this property. It belongs to my parents. I currently live in the guest house and my parents live in the front house. Well, I grew up with my sister who's 6 years older than I am. We both grew up in the front house with my parents, both my parents. So the first thing that I could remember being paranormal was one time I was with my mom at home. I believe it was during summertime. I don't remember if it was on summer vacation while I was in elementary, or maybe, I don't know, I don't remember. But I remember my dad used to come home every day around 5 o'clock. So one time my mom was either in the kitchen or in the living room, and I was passing from my sister and I's bedroom through the dining room. Now in our dining room we have a big screen door, and it takes up like one whole wall. And so one time I was like playing, like passing through, and I saw my dad outside coming in from the side gate. We had a wooden side gate, and he used to go through there every day back and forth because he would enter the house from the back door. So he was walking and he looked at me, and I remember he's wearing a white shirt, blue jeans, and a blue jean jacket, and he had a lunch bag. But what's kind of weird is that when he looked at me, he didn't smile. Like, he looked very serious. So I'm like, oh, you know, I'm like, maybe he had a bad day or he was in a bad mood. But it was weird because when I was younger, you know, when my dad would see me, he would say hi or smile or do something funny to make me laugh. But he didn't. So anyways, I was waiting for him to appear like 30 seconds through the back door. He never showed up. And even at the time when after I had seen my dad pass the sliding door, I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, Dad's home. And she's like, she waited for a little bit. She's like, she checked the window to see if his car was there, and he wasn't home. She's like, no, he's not here. I'm like, I just saw him. I'm like, he just came through the side gate. And she's like, no, your dad's not home. And she was even, I remember she was like kind of like confused, like, what, you know. So I told her what I saw him wearing and like how he looked at me and stuff. She's like, that is so weird. I'm like, yeah. So when he came home, like, I don't know, maybe an hour or so later, because she did tell me that it was too early for him to be home, he comes in the same way, but this time he didn't look at me, and he was really home at the time. So that was really weird. And I don't know if it was my mom or myself that told my dad that I had seen him already walk in the door. So that was like kind of creepy. And I know it wasn't my imagination because I was awake and I was playing. You know how kids are, a lot of energy and stuff. So that was like the first thing I can remember being really weird. And like little things happened in the house. Like one time excuse me, one time my dad had left on vacation to Mexico, and my mom, she didn't go with him. He had gone with family members, and did I say my mom? I mean, my dad went to Mexico with his family members, and so my mom and I, we were at home. And at that time, I think my sister, I don't know if she was home or she had moved out already. And so it was my mom and I, and we were home. I was standing up at the heater because it was kind of cold. And then I was talking to my mom. She was sitting on the couch across from me. And I remember she got up and she left the room. And after she had left the room, I saw, like, I don't know, maybe something like about this wide. I'm sorry, this long, this wide. It was moving like this, and it looked like a smoke, like a cloud, like if someone was smoking. But it was very it wasn't like loose, like it stayed together, and it was just like moving like this very slowly. Excuse me. And I followed my mom out like a minute later. I'm like, Mom, like, were you smoking? Because she used to smoke back then. She's like, no. She's like, I wasn't smoking. And I told her what I saw. And it was really weird because later I found out in that same, the same time that my dad was gone, my mom, she had like heard, what was it? She heard, I think, like footsteps in the kitchen or something, and it wasn't, I mean, my dad wasn't home and it wasn't me. And so, yeah, that was kind of interesting. Like, when I was in elementary, I was probably in 6th grade at the time, and I had one of my cats on my bed. I was laying on my back and had my cat, and I was trying to go to sleep. And I remember she was looking behind me, and there was nothing but a wall behind me, and she kept hissing, and she'd never done that before. And like, that scared me so much. Like, she hissed maybe like 3 times, and then after a while, nothing happened. And I just remember I used to get very hot because I was so scared. And then, like, there were times, like, especially when after my sister moved out from, like, because we used to share a bedroom, I had my own room, and I would always feel like if something was there, but I didn't feel it was bad, so I didn't mind. Like, you get used to it, like, feeling like if there's somebody there in the room. But this one time that really creeped me out was I was doing my homework on my bed one time. I think I was in junior high or high school, and I had this little porcelain clown head, but it was just this part, and it had a little green shiny shirt and a green shiny hat, and the face was porcelain. And are you serious? Hold on. Sorry for that interruption. So anyways, as I was saying before, I had a porcelain doll, just like from here up. It was sitting on top of my dresser, and so I'm sitting there on my bed doing my homework, and all of a sudden I hear something, and at the same time I look, and the little clown porcelain head falls from on top of my dresser, just plops down just how it was, sitting up on the lower part of my dresser. And I remember I got so scared because there was no reason for it to fall down. Like, yeah, we have earthquakes, but there were no earthquakes, and it wasn't placed like on the edge of the dresser. It was like a little bit back, so it was like, okay, well, why did it fall, and how come it didn't fall on its side? It just landed upright. So that freaked me out so bad, and I told my parents about it. But you know, they always like ignored stuff like that. And so I got the porcelain head, and I took it out of my room because I didn't want it no more. I'm like, maybe that thing's evil or something. And so my mom kept it for like so many years, and I think it was like a few years ago I saw it in her kitchen one time, and I think I threw it in the trash. Either I did or she did something with it, because I was like, oh, that thing's so evil. But I mean, I don't know. And yeah, so like little things would happen in that house. I don't know why. Like, I'm not a psychic or a medium, but I feel that like maybe the past residents are like, I don't know, maybe their spirits are here or something, because it always feels like something, like little things are happening at the house. Like maybe things would happen like once, I don't know, maybe once a month. It wasn't like often, but like nowadays I wouldn't go in there, like in the house when no one's home. Like, no way, especially at nighttime. And I know my parents, they've, you know, seen things, but, and they've heard things, but you know, you don't jump right away to conclusion and be like, oh yeah, it's something paranormal. Like, you know, you use logic first, and then if you can't figure it out, then it's like kind of weird. And my dad, he always told me, like, don't talk about those things, because the more you talk about it, things will happen, which I totally believe. And it was funny because I was talking about it, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know, it was a long time ago. I was sitting in the front yard with my dad, and I started talking about ghosts, and he's like, don't talk about it. I'm like, okay. And so like, we're quiet, we're like looking in the front, and all of a sudden you see one of the plants, one of the rose bushes, you see excuse me, you see one stem just pull back all by itself, and it looked like if someone pulled it back and let it go, and it like did that. And we just looked at each other, we're like, and my dad's like, I'm like, okay. Like, that was so weird. So like, your brain doesn't know how to process those things, you know, you can't explain it. And so this is going to be the end of my video because I could just go on. I have so many stories, but I don't want to make these videos like super long or anything. And so yeah, anyways, so thanks for watching my videos, and I'll try to update sooner rather than later and get lazy. So anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.